Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Into the Breach, a fantastic new indie game made by the folks that created FTL, Faster Than Light, another one of my favorite games. This is a strategy roguelike-ish thing. It has a lot of the same or similar ideas to what FTL had. You'll see a lot of that as we go. If you are unfamiliar with FTL, it doesn't matter. If you are, great. You'll see some of the roots of this game and that one. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, here we go. Because of its nature as a roguelike-ish thing, procedurally generated strategy with like permanent unlocks and upgrades as you go, but it doesn't end. It ends when you are done playing it. So I'm just gonna do a handful of games here for the YouTube channel, and then that'll be that. It'll be fun. It'll be great. I'm hoping this is entertaining. There's a lot of it's kind of chess-like. There's gonna be a lot of like staring at a board, kind of trying to sort out almost like a puzzle or something. And I'm gonna do my best to try to think out loud as we go through this. This is gonna be like an episode 0. We're gonna go through the tutorial mission. I've played a handful of games of this, just like 3-ish, 4-ish, something like that. Mostly failures, a couple of really solid runs. I do have a rough idea of what I'm doing. I have not played with any of the upgrades or anything. We're gonna go. Humanity has been destroyed. Thank you, AI unit. Vec threat. Unstoppable. Mission failed. Open a breach. Time to go back and try again. So it's about a group of time travelers trying to save humanity from being wiped out by like this evil alien force known as the Vec, these like giant creepy insect things. And so we get in our mechs, and we travel back in time, we try to stop them. And if we work, like if we do it, great, it worked, we stopped the Vec, let's go to another timeline and see if we made a difference. Let's keep bouncing through time. If not, then you escape, you leave the timeline, you go to another one, you try again, you keep redoing things, if that makes sense. It's really cool. It's all about like positioning and movement and like pushing enemies around as much as it is about like killing them and whatnot. We'll see. We're gonna go through the tutorial in this video and then we'll dive into the game proper. I'm just gonna play on normal. That's fine. We start with just the default character, Ralph Carlson. He gets a little bit of bonus experience as you kill things. There's a whole bunch of other players, other mech pilots that you can unlock. We have just the 3 default starting mechs. These are the Rift Walkers. There's a bunch of other squads in there that you can unlock. You can also build your own squad, pick and choose mechs from the things that you've unlocked, and you can randomize your squad. Oh my gosh, I want to try that out so badly, but we're just going to dive in here. We got a big old walkie stompy mech, we have a tank mech, and then we have like a spidery shoot a cannon mech, like an artillery thing. Here we go. Tutorial time. Let's do this. Tutorialize me, game. These corporate islands are the Vec's breeding ground. Wipe them out here, we save the world. So this is the Archive Inc. After we beat this, we'll unlock this one. After we beat this, we'll unlock this one, and so on. This will be the last one that we unlock. There's a final mission here that we'll also see at some point. If you hover over these, once we have them unlocked, but you can see what the environment looks like. Ooh, that's cool. Temperate, nice, lovely. At the bottom, we can see the threats. So there's going to be like a flying-looking bug, one with a blue butt, a scorpion-looking thing, a hovery thing, and then a purple one on the right. We'll deal with those as we go. There's important information up here. We'll also deal with that as we go. Here we are. Time to meet the CEO of Archive Inc. Civilizations of the past had a military strength vastly exceeding ours. Good thing we preserved some of their old war machines. Okay. We are going to do the tutorial. There is a combat simulation available to get new commanders up to speed with mechanized combat. Would you like to launch the simulation? I have done this. Like I've said, I've played before. If you've watched anybody else do their own videos or streams of this game, then you probably are also roughly familiar with things. Feel free to skip this video and move on to when the meat of the game starts, but we will do the simulation here. Here we go. We have a grid here. I have the grid letters and numbers turned on just to make it easy for people to kind of reference what's going on. I'm not going to use it because I can't be bothered. I just letters and numbers, and I have to like think about things. And what is this? That's D4 and just whatever. Okay, anyway, up here. This is our power grid. Whenever a building gets damaged, the power grid is reduced. If it goes to 0, we lose the game. So this is like an overall health bar. Regardless of how our actual mech units are doing and how we're doing in a fight, if this hits 0, we lose the game. There's an enemy. So the enemies are going to do a thing. They're going to move around. They're going to line up their attacks, and you can see what they're doing. Enemy attacks are forewarned. Next turn, this one is going to shoot straight forward and attack the buildings. You can hover over it and see some details, see what it's going to do. It's going to do 1 damage. It's going to take out 1 building, which is going to be 1 unit of power up here. That's bad. We just discussed that. This is us. We get these mechs. This one, the one that stomps around, punches things real hard. So it can punch anything that's adjacent to it. We can punch the building. I don't know why we'd want to do that. It also does 2 damage, which is pretty cool. So you can kind of see these things as we go. And the game wants me to punch the enemy. This is the tutorial. We'll do that. I'm using hotkeys, so we're just going to punch it. And if you hover over a thing, usually it'll show you what the attack profile looks like. When we punch it, see how there's 2, and then there's like an arrow kind of coming off the 2. Same here. You can see we're going to do 2 damage to the enemy. And the yellow arrow means it's going to be moved. So we're going to not only damage it, but we're also going to shablow, knock it over a tile. So, like I said, positioning and movement and like lining up chain reactions of things, it's all very important. It's all very, very cool, very clever. I like it. It takes a little getting used to if your brain's not used to thinking like this. It's like the first time somebody plays the game Portal, and they had the slogan, now you're thinking with portals. It takes a little bit to wrap your brain around it, but once you get your brain wrapped around it, it's fine, and you can kind of see things and think of things in that way. Anyway, there we go. So we pushed the unit. It will now attack the new location. So when it takes its turn, it's going to hit the mountain instead. Pushes can save buildings from enemy attacks, or even make enemies attack each other. Great. So there's little icons and things that we'll see when we're doing attacks and whatnot. So damage is a number, and you'll see it represented on the health too. A yellow box around a thing with an arrow means it'll be pushed, and sometimes you can do both, pushing and do damage. Great. Awesome. We've done everything that we can, so we will end the turn. So once all of your mechs have used an action, or there's nothing left to do, you push the button, your turn is over, then the enemy's going to take their turn. So they did that, and then more enemies will pop up out of the ground. Not always, usually. And we can see what they're going to do. So, hey, we get another mech. We get a tank this time. It shoots a projectile in a straight line. So a bunch of different attack types. You'll get used to seeing the same ones over and over again. This one is going to shoot the building. So we're just going to move right there and punch it. Ta-da! And now it's super dead. This one has webbed the building, so if we click on the leaper, or any of the enemies, you can see what they do by hovering over the thing. Its move is 0, but I think that's just because it's a tutorial leaper. It's not allowed to move, it just pops out of the ground and does its thing. Normally they can jump, like, really freaking far on the map, so you can, like, jump over obstacles and stuff. They web a thing, so they'll lock something down so that it can't move. If they web like our mech, then we can't move. That sucks. It's real bad for us. We don't want that to happen. And this guy does 3 damage. It only has 1 health. Easy to kill, but it's going to do 3 damage. That's real bad. If it hits these buildings, it's going to take out both of them. That's real bad. We're going to lose 2 power. Or we could just shoot it. When we shoot, it's in a cardinal direction. And it just, our bullet goes forward until it hits a thing. And when it does hit a thing, it does 1 damage and a little push. Just like that. Great. Oh, good. Now we got 3 things. Oh, what are we going to do now? Okay. Artillery mech. It lobs shots. You can't shoot anything adjacent to the mech, but it'll do damage to whatever's in the middle, and then it'll push everything in each of the cardinal directions. These are our 3 basic mechs, so, we're learning how these things work. So if we shoot here, we'll do 1 damage to the flying thing. The Hornet. It just stabs in like an adjacent tile, right? And then these are the Fireflies. They shoot. They're basically the same as our tank. They just shoot forward. They don't push. They just shoot. And they'll just do damage. Not a lot of enemies that I've encountered push. Some of them can. Now this is pretty sweet. because we're going to shoot this one. We're going to push the other two into the water. Vec can't swim. So they're dead. They just drowned. We just killed both of them. That was a 2 for 1, and this guy got hurt. Super good. That was amazing. That was real good. I love it. We can step in the water. If we're in the water... Yeah, here we go. Swimming robots. Mechs cannot use their weapons when they're standing in the water. But we can undo our move to reposition. So if we're here, we're submerged. We can't do anything. So that's kind of rough. You can undo your move as many times as you want until you move and then take an action. Then you're kind of locked in. Makes sense. Yeah, and this one right here, this is a flying creature, so if it gets pushed over the water, it just hovers over the water. It doesn't get drowned, you know? Makes sense. Makes sense. A lot of stuff makes sense. It's great. So there we go. You've been punched. That was all great. You do have an action available. We don't really have anything for you to do. Just kind of hang out by the buildings, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, sure. Shoot him out. Ooh, alright. Yep. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, completing missions. Every mission you win by defeating the Vec or by fighting them until they retreat. Kind of depends on what the mission is. But yeah, we have a set number of turns. Usually a small number of turns, usually like 5-ish, 6-ish, around there. So it's not like XCOM. You're not just out in the world for hours and hours and hours at a time until everything's done. Yeah, okay. You also always... Not always. You usually get bonus objectives. And these will get you extra resources outside of the battle. And, it'll be obvious when we get to those, so we'll come back to those. Yeah, so here we go. Now, if we move here and punch it, we'll do 2 damage, and we'll push it this way. When it collides, it'll do a damage to each of the things, and it's not a chain reaction. We're not going to push everything over a tile. We just get a collision for the extra damage, which is actually pretty sweet. It's actually pretty cool. So, do we want to do that? Probably. Alternatively, we come do these. No. This one right here is attacking a building, so we have to deal with that. We have to stop him from attacking the building. This one here is attacking me. I can just move my mech. Ta-da! Now your turn is just a complete waste of time. It doesn't do anything for anybody. Same with this one. It's attacking our tank. So if we move the tank, then it's just traveling in a straight line. Moving my artillery there would be bad. It makes sense, right? It makes sense. I like that everything's telegraphed. We got to think things through, etc. It's pretty fun. We're just going to punch the heck out of you. So there we go. Pushing units into things deals 1 additional damage to both. In this case, the extra damage killed the unit. Hooray! Oh, I didn't actually want to leave you there. That was a mistake on my part. That's okay. We'll do this. Do damage to you. Push that one out of the way. He's going to shoot his friend. He's not going to shoot his friend. He just hits adjacent. That's fine. And I screwed up because I meant to undo that. Anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah. That's fine. I know my tank didn't shoot. Okay. There's also an order of attacks here you can hover over, and it'll show you the order that the enemies are going to attack. Sometimes one attacking before another matters, This is bad, because if I come over here and punch this one into the building, even though it kills the Vec here, it's still going to knock it into the building, which means we'll lose a power. So, don't really want to do that. And yeah, the order of attacks, so anything that's on fire will take damage first, then the enemy's going to take their actions. In this case, there's only one left. And then the enemies will emerge from the ground, if there are any new enemies. And there we go. Easy enough. We killed all the enemies before they retreated. Plenty of time left. Hooray! Tutorial mission. It was a little simulation. Not a big deal. Congratulations on your first successful mission, Commander. I'm confident in your ability to save the planet after such extensive training. We saved all the civilians. There's civilians in every single building. Destroy a building, civilians die. Basically, it's your score. Like, it's your score. It's your score. It counts up. You keep track of all the people that you save on every mission. Try to get a high score if that's your thing. You know, whatever. Damage power grid. The power grid connects every corporate island. Any damage it takes in missions will persist. The Vec caused some damage before you arrived, but there will be opportunities to restore it. Mission rewards. Every mission has different potential rewards for completing the bonus objectives. You won't be able to do every mission on the island. That's actually important. You can only do a couple of missions. You can do 4. And then you can't do the rest. So you gotta pick and choose what your rewards are that you're going for. Power cores. These things right here. You use them to upgrade your mechs. Really, really important to, you know, the longevity of your team. You gotta upgrade them, cause them to do more damage, give them more health, let them move around further. Really, really important. Power up stronger weapons. Who knows? Grid power, the lightning bolts. It's your overall grid health. It's your HP for everything. You don't want that to go down. That's real bad. And then corporate reputation, the stars over here. That is like money that you use to buy upgrades and new weapons and all sorts of crazy stuff at the end of any given island. So also very, very important because you can buy power cores or more grid power or sometimes other weapons. There's usually something on sale, so a pretty good weapon that you can get for cheaper than usual. Very, very, very good, important to have. And then finally at the bottom, warning, missions with more potential rewards will have additional dangers. So yes, the missions that give you more rewards, they're going to be harder. But I think we can do this. The last thing here, the number, the 15% on the right. And it's showing us because we're hovering over it. Grid defense, the percentage chance that any building will resist damage. Gain power when your grid is full, and it will upgrade the defense. You can also get mech pilots that will gain grid defense as they level up or something, which we'll deal with level ups when we get there. It's fairly obvious. You kill things, you get experience, a bit of experience, and you level up, and then you get a random new bonus added to your pilots. And like grid defense is an option. So whenever something hits one of the buildings, there's a 15% chance that the building is just fine and that nothing bad happened to it. It doesn't get destroyed, you don't lose civilians, no power goes down, nothing. Doesn't matter if it's a Vec shooting it for 1 damage, or if it's like a super Vec exploding it for 1,000 damage. If it just resists it, then it just resists it and it's fine. So, but it's, you know, it's random. It's a 15% chance right now. Yeah. I think that about covers it. We kind of start here in the corporate headquarters, and we get to pick an area that we're going to go to next. So we can go to the renovation complex or to the exhibits archive. The archive will give us 2 corporate reputation, you know, money, basically, only for use at the end of this island. The renovation complex will give us 1 unit of money, but it will give us 1 unit of power grid. And we have 2 empty, like, damaged units right now, right? Like, getting that filled as quickly as possible is actually pretty high priority. And then each area that we visit on the island, it'll open up for the next mission whatever's adjacent to it. So if we do the exhibits archive, we can do this one for 2 money, this one for 1 money and 1 power. We can still do the renovation complex, right? Because we haven't done that yet. If we do the renovation complex first, though, it unlocks these 2 areas up here. So, you know, like, just kind of keep that in mind. If you have a plan, if you're like, ooh, I want to get, you know, like if this one had a core, like a mech core or something, then yeah, we would definitely want to, like, go down this way and go for that pretty darn quickly. Make sure we get it. You only get to do 4 missions. So, there's what, 7 total right here? So 3 things we're not going to do. This one that only has 1 objective, it'll give us 1 reputation. It's going to be an easier mission. It's only 1 reward, but it's going to be a lot easier. Like, usually the buildings are shielded or something like that, so that it's just easy. Yeah, and so there we go. Welcome to Into the Breach. We did the tutorial, and next time we're going to tackle this first corporate island. Thanks for watching, everyone. May the grace of the Twilight Dragon be with you.